going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome in. Another edition here. Live on our FTN Network YouTube page. Dangle Bet Celly. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you. Only 4 games on the ice to talk about tonight in the NHL. Of course, the scheduling's so strange. It was nice to actually have a couple days off and refresh, reset. But then yesterday, bam, 14 games on the ice in the NHL. Today, just the 4. We're going to break down those 4 games with you. Of course, if you have any fantasy hockey questions, leave them in the chat. We love the comments. We love the interaction, and we'll get to you guys all the questions throughout the show. And if you're watching the replay, you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, you can always hop on over and leave a question in the YouTube section. You could reach out at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney on the X Machine, or meanstreetsftn@gmail.com at any time. If you guys have any questions at all, we'll be circling back on these videos. Today, we're going to take a look at the Stanley Cup odds. We're going to take a look at pretenders, contenders, a couple teams that maybe are in a playoff spot that we don't believe in, a couple teams outside. We're just going to really have a general NHL discussion. We'll get after the 4 games first. And also, we will announce a winner of the contest that we were having over the past couple of weeks. We were asking you guys to rate, review, subscribe, and send a screenshot over to meanstreetsftn@gmail.com showing us that you subscribe for free to our FTN Network YouTube page, or also iTunes or Spotify, wherever it is that you listen. We're looking for a couple reviews. I just want to say we got a lot, and thank you guys. I wish that we could get a jersey for all of you guys. Yeah, you guys were fantastic. A lot of people have reviewed, some really nice comments, makes us feel pretty good. And we're going to do this again very soon. And we're going to give away a jersey, and we'll announce it at the end. But Eric, it was just awesome to see all the support, man. We really do appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. This is it's a pretty cool little community that we're part of here. We're cultivating this really cool place to come and talk hockey and joke and have fun and learn, and it's just such a cool thing, man. I literally I look forward to it when I don't get a chance to do it. I've missed a bunch of shows this year, and it bums me out. Keeps me normal, keeps me sane. I love coming on here, and I love this group of people. I already see them guys pop up in the chat. Jazz, Emmerich, Breezy's 91. These are people that we see twice a week, and it's awesome. It's a really, really cool community. So thank you guys so much, and pumped to reveal who won it and see what jersey they're looking for. And I'm going to take care of that on my end, because I live in the beautiful United States of America, where I can just get stuff for cheaper than Chris can. So that's just how it works.
We'll see. If a Canadian wins, then we'll take care of it. So we'll do this again soon. We really just want to give back to you guys. It's nice to get more eyes on this show, of course. Selfishly, we do want a couple people watching the show, like you guys hanging out with us. But we're gonna do the draw at the end, and I got 4 unbelievable hats that I showed EY, and all the old school hockey fans will love these too. Look at this guy. Look at this Ducks. I rocked all these hats when I was a kid. They don't fit me anymore.
These are
the logos. How about this one? Canucks.
Put one of those. Put that Canuck one on. Let me take a look at that. Put her on the dome.
I don't think it'll fit me.
A little tight. A little tight.
Little tight. Look at this thing.
Oh, look at that.
Holy crap.
Look at this.
I got a good dozen of them hanging around. Look at this Sharks one. This Sharks one. I got a good.
Everyone had Sharks gear. I had a Sharks jacket, starter Sharks jacket. I think it was Spittin' Chicklets put up this an older gentleman walking through a Walmart wearing this old school Canucks pullover. And the guy was like, I'm going to jump this Indian guy right now and take his jacket. And I would have thought about it too. It was probably over 20 years old, but it looked awesome.
Yeah. I had some Ducks gear and Sharks gear when I was a kid. I was always a Canadians guy, of course, but I had something about the logos too, right? The movie.
Yeah, these new exciting teams and these exciting places. Yeah, definitely.
Loved the teal and the colors. I'm still today a big fan of the old school Mighty Ducks jerseys. We talked about that before. Korea, and I like the old teal Sharks jerseys as well. So good stuff. We'll announce the winner at the end of this show. We do appreciate the support. So let's get after today. We got 4 games to talk about. And as I said, we're going to take a look at the Stanley Cup odds as well. We have the latest odds from DraftKings. Here's a little bit of a sneak peek at what we'll dive into. We'll see if we can find any value in who we're really buying into here as we inch closer to 2025. 4, excuse me. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But we'll have the stretch run here down the stretch. Let's get after it. 4 games.
Let's do it.
It's 4 games. We have a lopsided affair in San Jose. Speaking of those teams, we get the Oilers in town. We have the Canadians and the Hurricanes. We have the Flyers and the Canucks. Vegas and Los Angeles should be a really good one. Both teams played last night. In fact, a lot of these teams did suit up last night. The Hurricanes, one of them as well. So let's start there. Carolina and Montreal. Kochetkov, we talked about Kochetkov and Kochetkov, I suppose, is the proper pronunciation for him. As an immediate pickup in fantasy hockey, the Hurricanes struggling to find something between the pipes. It does sound like Antti Raanta is going to start tonight, but Kochetkov started last night, and he was pretty good. And he's been pretty decent. He's kind of holding the fort down for the Hurricanes, and some of their players are starting to come around a little bit. I'll let you take it away. I got a couple point props that I like here, but what do you like from this game between the Habs and the Hurricanes?
Yeah, obviously watched the Hurricanes play the Preds last night. A pretty fun game, really. Got to see Oskarov come in relief. I think how do you say his name, Prochekov or whatever it is, looked pretty decent. I don't know if the Preds put a ton of shots on net or whatever. That's not really what they do, but was a pretty good game. I'll say this: Sebastian Aho is a star. I mean, he's just a star and a competitive player, a super skilled player. Doesn't back down from anybody. I love him. He's plus 140 to score tonight. I'm going with him. And I'll say, I think Michael Bunting looked pretty good last night. That's maybe the first time that I've said that all year for Carolina. He's kind of just been lost in the shuffle. Coming off such a successful year in Toronto, obviously, made some money, went over there and just kind of been invisible, but he looked pretty good last night. He's playing on that top power play and he's at plus 280. So I'm going to go with Aho and Bunting on the Carolina side. Montreal, I'm going to go with Monahan playing on that top power play, playing on the second line, which, they're upping his minutes and he's been pretty consistent for Montreal all year. And I'm going to go with Slafkovsky as well. Number one reason he's playing on the top line, playing with Suzuki, and playing on the top power play. And the number one thing for me, most people know, is I love to find these odds. And when players are playing important minutes like that, especially on the power play, and they're plus 440, sign me up.
Yeah, more on him in a second, but we hit Rickard Rakell last night. Same sort of deal. As a guy who, over the first 16 games, I think he had 4 assists. He missed a month with an injury. And when he returned to the lineup, he didn't play on the top line at first and only played 13, 14 minutes. I think he was bumped on that top line towards the end of the game. But over the last 3 games for the Penguins, he's been up on that top line. So Vegas is, definitely different players because Rakell's got 5 20-goal seasons on his NHL resume. But the fact that he had no goals and he started slow and he missed a month, Vegas was just kind of sleeping on him. He was plus 300 last night to score a goal. And we had him to score a goal. We had 2 units on the point at plus money, and we had a first goal for him at 20-1. And I was just like, you know what? A guy playing on the top line on the top power play with Crosby and Gensel shouldn't be 20-1. And I know this isn't the same, but Slafkovsky, to your point, is playing on the top line with Suzuki and Caulfield and getting power play time. I have him. There's a free article inside the link of the description here of this video on our YouTube page. And I got Slafkovsky as a bonus play here. I went with Seth Jarvis for a point at minus 125. The Hurricanes did shuffle their lines a little bit. He's not playing with Sebastian Aho. I still like him for a point. Carolina's put up 5 goals. They've scored at least 4 goals in 5 of their last 8 games. And that was last night, the 5. So they're starting to score a little bit. I've seen the team turn around a little bit offensively since that closed door meeting, but Jarvis he had a goal and assist last night. He's got 5 points. He's got points in 5 of his last 6 games and 6 of his past 8. I think if you're looking for a bet that has a better chance of hitting, you pay a little bit of juice on this, but Andrei Svechnikov, I like to score tonight. And I like him to pick up a point at minus 145 at DraftKings. The point a little bit easier to come across as the goal, but 4 games since he's returned to the lineup, and he's got 2 goals, he's got 3 assists, he's got 3 power play points. So he's playing some pretty good hockey lately, and he's up on that top line. I've noticed he jumped up with Teuvo Teravainen and Sebastian Aho. So I really like that line. I like the call by you. Aho just lights up the Habs. He just has a history of lighting up the Habs. I don't know if it's because
He
he's
looked
an offer sheet with this squad or not, but he's the guy that I feel like has taken on. Okay, like he's obviously part of the leadership here, but he's the guy that has to kind of lead by example, and he has.
Yep.
And then other guys are kind of following through, right?
He's definitely the straw that stirs the drink, right? He's the engine for that team offensively. There's no doubt about it. I still believe it's an outdated look. They're still allowing their defensemen just kind of whipping pucks from the point and hoping. I mean, tough for me to say that now because two of those went in last night. One of them just some weird deflection for Saros, and Chris Mason and Willie Donick talked about it last night. It just seems like every game there's one or two of these weird bounce deflection goals that are going in. Saros still has good numbers. The Preds are right there in the wild card hunt, and I don't think anybody thought that was going to be a thing. But they're going to have a long road. There's tons of young players on this team. There's still talk of possibly trading Barry away, but Carolina, it looks like they're kind of rounding into form again. Rob Brindamore has got them playing again. And Aho, dude, I mean, last night he just looked incredible, and I'm looking to him for him to continue that tonight.
I'm trying to find this now. Aho versus the Canadians and just seeing because I don't have anything. Oh yeah, this guy, he just lights up the Habs. So let's he's got 9 goals and 7 assists in 17 games versus Montreal. So he's a point per game guy, 16 points basically, point per game guy. The last time he played the Habs, he scored. Get this, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games against the Canadians, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. He has 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 points. He's got 6 goals and 11 points the last 8 games against the Habs. Yeah, that top line I like a lot tonight. I think you could do a 3-6-5 with those 3 guys. You can go Svechnikov, Aho, and Teuvo Teravainen. Teravainen's plus money for a point. I like that as a single play. I like Svechnikov as a single play for a point. I do like Seth Jarvis still for a point. And for the Canadians, I do want to give some love to this top line. The Habs are playing good. They're kind of hanging around too because of their goaltending and that top line. Suzuki tonight is minus 135 for a point. And Slafkovsky, you mentioned, is plus 154 for a point. He's got back-to-back games with 2 points. He's got 2 goals in those games. And he's got 5 points over the last 4 games. And one of those points came on the power play. His ice time has jumped up. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He looks like that first overall pick that the Habs took, right? For a reason. And then for Suzuki, this guy checks in riding a 5-game point streak. He's got 3 multi-point games over that span. He's hit the score sheet in 8 of his last 10. We're getting him at minus 135. I get it. It's the Hurricanes, and they're still a very good team at 5-5. They don't give up a whole lot, but it's been Kochekov. I get that missed up all the time. He's going to get the night off, and he's been good. Ranta has not been good. I don't think it's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure they're going to him tonight. He's got an .854 save percentage and a 3.61 goals against average. He's allowed 10 goals in his last 2 outings. You look at the back of the hockey card, there's a game there he allowed 8 goals, 4, 6 to your Preds on December 15th is the last time that he started a hockey game. I think the Habs may actually pull off the upset, but maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too much. No?
Could happen. I mean,
Hurricanes
came off, a pretty tough fought game last night. It wasn't scoreboard close, but I mean, there was a couple weird bounces for Preds goaltending last night for sure. The travel, that would be worrisome for me. Obviously, them playing last night is worrisome for me, but I still think Carolina gets it done here at home.
All right, let's move over to Vancouver. We'll take a look at the Canucks and the Flyers here. So we have Vancouver at home checking in at minus 160. By the way, the Hurricanes are minus 250 best I'm seeing, and the Habs, I think, are live dogs at plus 220. I think maybe in reverse puck line to keep this thing close because of their goaltending. Not to lose by 2 goals, minus 110. Okay, so back over to Vancouver here tonight. The Canucks at home, -160. The Flyers checking in at +138. The Flyers we've been, giving them their praises, certainly deserving. But the last 2 games have been pretty rough for them. 4-2 loss to your Preds, and then they got crushed against Detroit 7-6. But I give them credit because they came back in that game. I think they were down by like 4 or 5 goals, and they came all the way back to tie that one up. But then they lost, I think, in overtime. I'm going to start here with Owen Tippett. I like Owen Tippett tonight. He's plus money for a point. I have him in the article as well, plus 124 over at DraftKings. He's riding a 3-game point streak. He's got 2 goals over that span. He's got points in 5 of his last 7 games. He's been up and down the lineup all season long, but he's playing on the top line tonight with Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny. Those are the Flyers' 2 best players. Tippett leads Philadelphia at 5-5, according to Natural Stat Trick, in all of these categories. Shots, 89, attempts 167, scoring chances 80, high danger chances 34, and the highest expected goal rate on the squad at 5-5 as well. So Owen Tippett, he's one of those, his ownership is still pretty low, sub 60 in Yahoo. If you're playing in leagues with hits and shots, like he's almost an automatic play. And when he's not scoring for you, he's at least, throwing the body around and getting some of those shots and getting some other counting stats for you. So I like that top line tonight for the Flyers. Travis Konechny's -134 for a point as well over at DraftKings. I got JT Miller for an assist at -105 and Brock Besser for 3 shots at +100. And I think you could do at 365, you can go Couturier, Tippett, and Konechny. Just take that top line. They're +375 for a point. And Brock Besser and JT Miller for a point at 365 +110. So I'm really riding line 1 in Philly and line 2 in Vancouver, and I think that the Flyers are also live dogs here in this hockey game.
Should be a pretty good game. This will be one that I'll watch some of if I get a chance tonight. Scoring wise, I'm going Konechny 140, and I'm also going to go Morgan Frost. He's playing on the top power play, and he's +400. So and when he gets minutes, important minutes, he has looked pretty good all year for them. Vancouver, I can't get away from Brock Besser. He's +150. He's having a career
almost
year
every night.
Yeah, just having a career year, and is and has always been an elite shooter in the NHL. And I'm going to go with JT Miller as well. He's not filling the net as much as he was last year, but another important player for the Canucks.
Yeah, those two just seem to hit the score sheet every other night, right? The chemistry is there between them. Miller's like a really good setup man, an underrated setup man. I wish he would shoot more. He's got a heck of a shot as well, but Besser's got that shot. All right. I would say the goal scorers for me would be Tippett and Brock as well. I like those 2 guys this evening. Okay, we'll just continue right along. Let's save the Oilers. It's the most lopsided affair here. The Kings and the Golden Knights. Vegas got smacked last night by Anaheim, and then the Kings easy work against the San Jose Sharks last night. Adrian Kempe with a couple late goals. Was looking for a Quentin Byfield point, but we did have the LA Kings on the puck line last night. We did have Jonathan Marchessault for a point, and I like going back to Marchessault again tonight. It's been some semi-tough matchups for him, but he's been off the second line. When he played Florida, he was -130-ish for a point. When he played Tampa, he was roughly around the same price. So he's a guy that does stand out to me tonight. This one should be a good one. It should be a good game. What do you got? You got a couple goal scorers there? Do you think it's a low-scoring affair? Because Vegas has really had issues keeping the puck out of their net lately.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty beat up in the goaltending area, right? Like Hill not there. They're trying to play other guys because they don't want to overwork Thompson. And when he's played, he hasn't been great. So that's an interesting wrinkle for them. Vegas, I still think, is one of the best teams in the league. They can kind of play any which way. For them, I'm going to go with Eichel at +160. He's such a good player. I love watching him play. And he's turned into the player that everyone wanted him to be, and it's definitely happening this year. He's always been good. But in my opinion, he's turning into the great player that everyone wanted him to be. Buffalo people, Vegas people, just fans of the NHL in general. He's turned into that guy. at plus 160 and Marshall at plus 200. If guys are going to score, it's likely to be them too. I know scoring comes from all over the place there, but those are the two I like the most. LA side, I'm going back to Kempe at plus 180, and I'm going to go Trevor Moore at plus 210. He's having an unbelievable year. What a grab by them from Toronto for, basically next to nothing. He's having a great year. And when he is on the ice and he's touching the puck, good things happen. Dubois has been mostly invisible for most of the year. Fiala has not been the player that we thought he was going to be, or LA thought he was going to be. But people like Moore and Deneau, obviously Byfield has taken a massive step this year. So it's cool to see these other players step in. And the truth is LA is, I'm not going to say dominant, but man, pretty close. I mean, it's
they are.
Close.
They play.
The goaltending somehow is still getting it done, and it just David Rittich, Talbot, and Phoenix Copley. Like, what's
I know. Credit to the, I guess, McClellan, the style that they play.
Yeah.
Right. They play this trap style of hockey where they hang like kind of three guys around the neutral zone, and they make it tough for a team to get in with control, with possession. So there's not a lot of sustained pressure in LA's zone at 5-5. They don't give up a lot of high quality chances, but yeah, Rittich has had a couple starts here over the past few days. Man, Vegas they're struggling at the moment. I know Thompson returned last night, but he let in 5 goals. I would say Patura gets the start tonight for Vegas. They need Aiden Hill back like in a hurry, I think. I believe they're fine, but they've lost 4 straight games. Listen to some of the goal numbers that they've allowed, dating back to December 10th. They give up 4 to the Sharks, they give up 4 to the Flames, they give up 5 to the Sabres, 3 to the Sens, 6 to the Hurricanes, 5 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, 4 to Florida, and then 5 to the Ducks. Like, it's pretty alarming, man. That's at least 4 goals allowed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their last 8 games. They enter on a 4-game losing streak. I know they played last night in Cali, and it's not a big road trip for them to go to Anaheim to back home. But they went and played in Carolina. They lost 6-3. They played Tampa. They lost 5-4. Florida, they lost 4-2. And then last night, 5-2 lost to the Ducks. I like the Kings here. I think they've shown me a little bit more. I definitely, have the better goaltending at the moment. Should be a really good game. It could go either way. It's the game of the night on this little mini 4-game slate.
Yeah,
I like Kempe as well. Just a sucker for him. I mean, he shoots the puck all the time. He's the guy in the power play. They look for him, right? Kopitar doesn't want to shoot. Fiala doesn't really want to shoot. They're kind of playing pitch and catch, and they get that one-timer across the ice for Adrian Kempe. I think Quentin Byfield's still a pretty good, because it's Vegas. Last night it was the Sharks, and it was minus 150 or 40 for a point. But he's minus 110. Quentin Byfield for a point tonight, still playing heavy minutes on the top line on the first power play. I think is pretty decent odds for him. And I'll just go back to Marchessault as well at minus 120 for a point for him this evening. So those are the 2 guys for me. And I think LA does find a way to win the hockey game. And I don't know, like this following trends, we may see some goals. As if Vegas can't keep them out, they're going to open things up, and we know that they can score some goals as well. So it should be a pretty good one. All right, we'll head to San Jose for the last game of the night. We got the Oilers heavy favorites here, of course. Sharks played last night. Sharks have been playing some decent hockey over the past month. They're not a complete pushover anymore, but as of late, they have come back down to earth just a touch. I mean, overall, this is a team that still allows a lot of rubber and a lot of high quality chances. In fact, even saying that they've played good hockey lately, they're riding a 6-game losing streak. Now, some of those games they have hung around. They lost 1-0 to Arizona. They did get really beat down twice by the Kings, 5-1 last night, 4-1 December 19th. They lost another one to Arizona. They hung around with the Canucks, lost 7-4 in that game, but they did battle, made it a 1-goal game late, and then they lost to Colorado in Mile High. But the Oilers are completely juiced. I'm drinking a little bit of that juice, over at ftmbets.com. I'm just giving you guys some live odds here. Edmonton is now minus 400. That's the best I'm seeing on this board. Last night it was minus 309. And then we have plus 320 for the San Jose Sharks. In the bet tracker last night, I put in a couple plays. I had the Edmonton Oilers on the puck line. It was minus 135 for them to win by 2 goals here tonight. I think that number is gone. I would take anything around minus 140. I know that it's a lot to ask for a team to win by 2 goals and paying that price, but the Edmonton Oilers have been much better since the coaching change. They've just been at least scoring a lot of goals. We have a Sharks team that played last night against LA, and Edmonton may give up a couple. They already lost once to San Jose this season. But I expect them to get a lot of quality chances. They've won 10 of their last 13 games. They've scored at least 4 goals in 10 of those games. So I like the Oilers. Again, last night, minus 124 for them to win by 2. Connor McDavid for 2 points at minus 135. I got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for an assist at minus 125. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has got 23 assists in 31 games of the season. He's racked up 10 helpers in his last 9 games. They got that line intact, McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins. I even like Hyman for an assist at plus 120, and I took Draisaitl for 3 shots at minus 150. So some of these plays are a little bit juicy, especially the Oilers winning the puck line. I even like the Bouchard assist at minus 140, but I'll go with take the value that I think there's still value with Nugent-Hopkins at minus 125 for the assist. There's value with Hyman for the assist at plus money and McDavid to have a 2-point night. That's where I'm at. I think the Oilers probably win like 5-1. I think they score like 4 or 5 goals here tonight. I'm sure you got a couple goal scorers. And I'll give some love to Granlund because Mikael Granlund's been pretty good for the Sharks. If there's a guy, it'd be him or Hurdle. They eat up a lot of ice time, and they've been the shooters on the team over the last month.
It's a revenge game. I mean, the truth is the last time these guys play, it was one of the most talked about hockey games of the year, and that's because Edmonton was so bad, and the Sharks were equally as bad.
That's when the firing I thought was going to happen when they lost.
Right,
they lost.
That's
that
right.
game.
I think it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back at that point, right? And I think McDavid certainly isn't going to forget that. It's embarrassing for a team like Edmonton to at that point. San Jose hadn't had that surge yet. Like San Jose had just had back-to-back losses by 10 goals. They were considered the worst team in the NHL, and maybe there was definitely places, including us, reputable places talking about that maybe this was the worst team ever in the NHL. Not this year, the worst team ever to play in the NHL.
I was one of those guys.
I was looking at it too, and the truth is they did have a little bit of a surge. They're not going to make the playoffs. This team. The truth is the more they can lose, the better off for them. It's just the truth. But I think Edmonton puts it to them, and I think McDavid leads the charge tonight. I know it sucks because it's negative 120, but he's going to score. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores twice. He's my lock of the night to score. Him and Draisaitl both. If I was to lock 2 guys in that are going to both score, I'm going to say it's going to be them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You mentioned the 2 goals. I think we can have some fun with this because I think Edmonton's scoring 5 goals. So I think we can have some fun with some multi-goal scorers or a couple, like maybe we'll take a flyer on a hat trick or first.
I think 5 is being nice, to be honest. I think McDavid is going to have these guys thinking about when they lost. I think for the most part, people liked Woodcroft. I think McDavid especially liked Woodcroft. And losing that game is part of the reason that he got fired. Maybe the biggest reason he got fired. And I think they're going to be very motivated to show that they're the Edmonton Oilers tonight and they're the San Jose Sharks. I think under 5 would shock me. I know it's crazy to say, but it's just what I believe. I think they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And the San Jose Sharks are not a good hockey team, period. The end. That's the end of the discussion. I think if someone's going to score, it's Hurdle, like you said, 230. And I'm going to go Zetterlund as well, who's playing on the top power play and has been playing him and Eklund for them, which is really good for them. The 2 young guys have played some really good hockey this year. Zetterlund's at plus 310. So I've got him in a weird 4-way bet where I've got Who do I have? Slavkovsky, Marchessault, Frost, and Zetterlund all to score. A big $1 bet on that, and then I've got a 4-way bet as well with some other guys. But I think that this is going to be a blowout, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to pound the Sharks tonight.
So again, I agree. I got 2 units on McDavid for a 2-point night. I got 2 units on the Oilers to win by 2. Those are 2 things that I have in the tracker from last night. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for the assist, Hyman for the assist. I like Bouchard for the assist rather than the point. Hammerhead, I see the comment that you have there. I mean, Bouchard for a point is minus 210. It's just like, yeah, he's going to get a point, but I mean, minus 210 is just too silly of a single bet. But minus 140 for the assist, I can certainly get behind. I'm at Bet365 right now. In a same game parlay, go McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, and Bouchard for a point. So basically just the entire power play. And then the Oilers to win by 2 at plus 250. That's one that I like. I'll also add in some shots to kind of get that up to maybe 6-1, like McDavid 2 shots, Draisaitl 2 shots, Hyman 2, Bouchard 2. Even taking the Oilers to win by 5 goals tonight it's a lot to ask for, but plus 400 for them to win by 4 goals is plus 210. Let's I sometimes do this just like crazy little pizza money goal score, multi-goal score. Draisaitl 2, McDavid 2. When's the last time we've seen Draisaitl score 2 and McDavid to score 2? That's 30-1.
Right.
Like that could easily happen tonight. We've seen that multiple times over the past couple of years. Both of these guys that have 2-goal games.
Let's get nuts. There's only 4 games.
Let's get nuts. I mean, 30-1, you put down $1 on that. 31, put down $5 on that. 150 return profit. You could even, obviously, you could do maybe Zach Hyman for 2 goals at 5-1. Maybe go Hyman and Draisaitl. That's 35-1. You can have some fun with this game because I do believe that they are going to put up some goals, right? We all think that the quality chances are going to be there for them. The fact that they played last night against the Kings, the Sharks, that is. So who do you think has a better chance of getting a hat trick tonight, Draisaitl or McDavid?
McDavid.
Yeah, I agree with you. McDavid for a Hattie.
What is it?
What is it? A 3-point night is that correct? A 3-point night is not 9-1. Oh yeah, it's not 9-1. It's plus 230. A hat trick tonight. I'm not seeing it pop up on our prop shop, but I got it here in 365. So let's say a hat trick tonight is 20-1 for both of them. For McDavid or Draisaitl, 20-1. I'll put a little bit of sprinkle on. Maybe both of those guys to score a hat trick tonight. Kane's on that third line, fun revenge spot for him, but he's on that third line. Draisaitl's not playing with anybody great. That's the one thing I don't love about him tonight, but I think he does score. It's probably via the power play, and I do like him to have 3 shots, but I think Nugent-Hopkins is in a really good spot for 2 points tonight, and he's probably the best value on the board. Given the fact that McDavid is minus 140 for 2 points, Draisaitl is plus 110, Hyman is plus 165, but Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for 2 points tonight is plus 190. I already like him for the assists. That's probably actually one of the better bets in this game tonight. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for 2 points. You kidding me? Plus 190. They have McDavid at minus 140 for 2 points. These guys are like, I mean, if McDavid gets 2 points, Nugent-Hopkins most likely gets 2 points. Okay, enough about that. Sharks probably win 6-1. We look like fools.
I can't wait.
I got all these like side bets. Nugent-Hopkins 2 points, 3-point night for McDavid, Draisaitl hat trick, McDavid hat trick. Sharks win 4-1.
If anyone's scoring a hat trick, it's Barabanov, my man. He's back.
All right, we did it. We'll wrap up. Let's wrap up with some goal scorers. We got the Jersey giveaway here, and we're also gonna take a look at the Stanley Cup odds. So I'll start first here tonight, and then I'll let you go with the goal scorers. So again, Oilers puck line, riding it. For me, that's my favorite side. I know it's not breaking any news here, but the 2-unit play for last night to take anything around minus 140, and sprinkle in maybe win by 3 goals or something like that. I like the Kings. I like the Kings on the road. I think that they've been playing better hockey lately. Vegas, as we talked about earlier, struggling to keep the puck out of their net. They're riding a 4-game losing streak here, and they just basically cannot keep the puck out of their net at the moment. I like Svechnikov to pick up a point. I like Teuvo Teravainen to pick up a point. Also like Suzuki and Slafkovsky to pick up a point. But my favorite play in that game would be Svechnikov or Teuvo Teravainen. I got in the free article that you can see, the link inside the description of this video, I have Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, and Svechnikov all for a point at 365. That pays plus 235. So that one's one of my favorite bets inside that game. Suzuki for a point at minus 135. Svechnikov for a point at minus 145. Sebastian Aho for 3 shots at minus 140. And that would be my goal scorer inside that game. We talked earlier in his last 8 games, he's got 6 goals and 11 points against the Canadiens. He's got 16 points in 17 career games against them. Over in Philadelphia, I like Owen Tippett for a point at plus 124. I also like Travis Konechny for a point at minus 135. Brock Besser for 3 shots, JT Miller for the assist. I'm taking that top line at 365 for a point. Couturier, Tippett, Konechny at plus 375. And I got Brock Besser and JT Miller at plus 110 for a point. And then in the LA side of things, Quentin Byfield at minus 110 for a point and Marchessault at minus 120 for a point. Goal scores for me, again, Aho, Owen Tippett, Brock Besser, Adrian Kempe, Jonathan Marchessault. I do like McDavid. We'll go with Hyman. Anyways, we're going to sprinkle a little bit on McDavid for have a hattie tonight. All right. Shot props. I know I didn't give a whole lot. Don't really like a whole lot. I'd say Aho, Svechnikov, Trevor Moore, Owen Tippett, a little bit juice for 3, but I think he gets there. Brock Besser for 3, and I'll go with Draisaitl for 3 as well. You take it away. You got some goal scores?
We've got Slafkovsky, Monahan, Aho, Bunting, Eichel, Marchessault, Kempe, Moore, Konechny, Frost, Besser, Miller, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hurdle, Zetterlund. The 4-way, because there's only 4 games, I wasn't going to attempt to do an 8-way. So 4-way maniac parlay goes as followed: Aho, Eichel, Besser, McDavid. Like I said, like pizza money, $1 or whatever. I sprinkled Slafkovsky at plus 440, Marchessault at plus 200, Frost at 400, and Zetterlund at 310. Also for another 4-way for them. McDavid is my lock of the night to score.
McDavid's the lock of the night. What's McDavid for a first goal? 8-1. I think that one's pretty that's a misprice. That's at FanDuel. BetMGM and BetRivers has 5-1 and Caesars has plus 475. And I haven't put a lot of these first goals in, but I've hit 3 of my last 3 and just random dudes too. Ryan Donato, 20-1, Morgan Geekie at 22-1, and last night Rickard Rakell at 20-1.
It's crazy.
I wanted to do Slafkovsky. I think I may do a little sprinkle on Slafkovsky. I like that you like him as much as you do, but I think 8-1 for McDavid.
Just where he's playing, who he's playing with, and he's plus 440 to score. I mean,
and he's got goals in back-to-back and multi-point games.
He's hot right now, right? He's hot right now. Playing with Suzuki, playing with Caulfield, playing on the top power play. Number 1 draft pick. They want this guy to be going, and he's going. Sign me up.
Playing with absolutely. Playing with I've really changed my tune on him, and I knew it was too early to write. He's just a child. He's like 18. He's like, come on, man. 19 years old. Like it's going to take some of these kids a little bit of time to get going, but I credit to St. Louis. He put him with good players in Suzuki and Caulfield, and that's really got his confidence going. And he does look like a good player. I'm seeing it now. I see the patience with the puck. I see the hockey sense, the passes. I would like him to shoot a little bit more. He's got a heck of a shot. He skates weird, but he's got some upside there for sure. I think McDavid 8-1 is a really nice sprinkle. I'd say we could actually have some. I'll give you a first goal score in every game tonight. Owen Tippett. Let's go Slafkovsky. It's like Aho Slafkovsky. We'll go Slafkovsky, a little bit of a sprinkle. Owen Tippett, Connor McDavid, and we'll go Adrian Kempe because he finished last night strong and he'll pick it up where he left off. Okay. Yeah, Oilers 2.5 I think is a pretty good one. worth a shot there for sure. Okay, let's take a look at some Stanley Cup odds, and then we'll draw that jersey. So this is from DraftKings. The Rangers are favorites, Cup favorites. Bruins and the Avs up at the top as well, plus 750 for the Rangers, the Bruins, and the Avs. I've seen the Bruins slow down slightly, but they're still winning hockey games. The Rangers have been pretty consistent all year long. My goodness, Mika Zibanejad is on a heater right now. Panarin's been red hot since the start of the season. And this is the opposite of George. George puts a guy on the board, and it's like bad news. What I've noticed from Fox, he puts a guy on the board, and it's like, good news. It's like, oh man, you may want to sprinkle some money on Artemi Panarin hat trick in the Rangers next game. Sorry, George. Fox has got he's a good luck charm, I think. The Golden Knights at 8-1 to repeat. The Stars at 10-1. The Leafs at 12-1. Never know what you're going to get with the Leafs, man. It's so crazy. It's like, looks like the best team on ice, and then they look like the worst team on ice. It's unbelievable. Hurricanes at 12-1, the Kings at 13, the Devils at 15, the Panthers and the Oilers at 15. It's amazing. The Edmonton Oilers are not even in a playoff spot, but 15-1, the Jets 20-1, and the Canucks there at 22-1. I have two bets in the tracker to start the season. I got the Devils, I think at 13-1, and I'm not really feeling too confident about that pick. They can't buy a save. They can score. Timo Meier's starting to come around since we've been a little bit hard on him. He's been in the past week or so, he's been really good. It's a good sign if you're a Timo Meier owner in fantasy hockey leagues. And then the Kings I have at 22-1, and I feel pretty good about LA. I'd like them to add somebody on defense, I think, at the deadline. Talbot's playing really good hockey. Does he keep this up? As long as he stays healthy, I think he should be fine, just the way that they play at 5-5. They're deep down the middle. I know they're not getting a lot from Pierre-Luc Dubois, but he's their third line center. He did score, I believe, last night. I still like where the LA Kings are at. I think 13-1 is a pretty decent bet. And then the third one that I have is the Dallas Stars at 10-1 there. I really just like this Stars team. I know that Jake Ottinger hasn't been great and he's hurt, but I loved the addition of Matt Duchene. It really does give them three lines, because I think, Eric, this time last year, like, we really liked the Dallas Stars, and they went to the Western Conference Finals. They lost in 6 games to Vegas, but a couple of those were overtime games, and Aiden Hill just played really good. I don't want to take anything away from Vegas, but Dallas could have easily won that series as well. And I thought last year they were basically a two-line team. Like Ben and Donanoff and Johnson were good, and we know that the Hintz line is great. But adding Duchene has basically been a point-per-game player for Dallas, and it's made them have a line, call it the third, it should be the second. Like, Sagan has kind of turned back the clock. Marchment is a guy that they picked up from Florida who gave them really nothing last year. And this year he's been really good. So, yeah, I really like where Dallas is at. Dallas and LA are the two teams that I think are very, very dangerous. And on the other side, I can't really put a pinpoint in the East, but I'll throw it over to you. I'll throw that board back up. Do you see any value? We're here December 28th. Who are your top 3 contending Stanley Cup squads at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely sprinkled money on the Rangers early in the year. I liked them last year. I sprinkled a little bit of money on the Stars because I think they have stars at every position. LA Kings is a team that I went in pretty deep on last year. I definitely was wrong, but this happens for me often. I'm usually with things like this, like just a year too early. And the Kings, I mean, the goaltending makes no sense, but I'm not here to make sense of it. I'm here just to say that the LA Kings are a very dominant hockey team. The Florida Panthers at plus 1,500. Like, look, man, they almost won the Stanley Cup last year. They're not way different. Reinhart is having a career year. Matthew Tkachuk is still Matthew Tkachuk. Ekblad looks really good. Montour is back and starting to skate again. Bobrovsky has been decent, and I have this. I don't know about you, but I just have this sneaky suspicion that they're not even really pushing the pedal, right? Like that's what it appears to me. They're just a team that is playing and piling up wins and looking to get in the playoffs, and we're going to see a completely different team once the playoffs start, just like last year. It's a really, really hard team to play against. I really like Florida again this year.
I think they're the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. And the reason I probably wouldn't have said that last year is because of Bobrovsky. But Bobrovsky, I mean, last year in the playoffs, we saw what he did. And this year he's been fine. Like, it's carried over. The fact that they weathered the storm of the first like 6 to 8, 12 weeks of the season without Brandon Montour, without Aaron Ekblad, and Sam Bennett was out of the lineup. So they got two very, very solid lines. They're probably going to add at the deadline. They're complete on the blue line. They already showed us that they can make a run, right? They beat a Bruins team last year. They made quick work of the Leafs. They swept the Hurricanes in the third round, and they just had a ton of injuries. They probably would have hung around with Vegas a little bit more without a lot of the injuries that they battled through in that Stanley Cup final. So did you see them play did you see Florida and Vegas play the other night? They're going to play again on January 4th or 5th. It's must-watch TV. These guys were fighting and scrapping all over the ice, man. It was absolutely
two teams that don't back down and two teams that can play any which way you want, and I love it, man. That would be
man, Florida just like every time I watch.
Sign me up for that for the Stanley Cup again. Yes, please.
Dee says it all the time. Like because I got the screens going and she's watching, we're watching something, and then there's all these other games on, and she's always like, every time I watch Florida, they're fighting somebody, and they're like, they were able to match Boston's physicality last year, and I think that was the biggest thing is they were not pushed around by the Bruins, and Sam Bennett was just giving it to William Karlsson the other day. Like, these guys were just bullying. Not only did they crush Vegas on the scoreboard, they just bullied them and were fighting all of them. Mark Stone was just like so pissed. Like, he was over the bench like, guys, what are we even doing here? And they were just all yapping at him. And it's must-watch TV. I think they suit up. They play each other, I think, January 4th, January 5th in Vegas. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be an epic hockey game. I'm with you for those odds. Again, in the West, like LA and Dallas are two teams that I really like.
Vancouver too, man. Like, look,
I think the Canucks are going to. I think the Canucks are one and done, man. I think they're frauds.
I don't think they're as good as they are, but I mean, look at Demko. I think has turned into a star goaltender, maybe not a superstar goaltender. Quinn Hughes is one of, if not arguably, the best defenseman in the league this year. Patterson has turned into a superstar player. Like, dude, I mean, they have game changers at all three positions. So it could happen.
I know that he loves loves the Canucks. I think that Demko is fantastic, but I just don't believe, like, they got a lot of guys that are punching above their weight at the moment and shooting percentage. Like, they need to figure out the top line. Pettersson, I can't take them seriously with Pettersson playing with Mikheyev and Kuzmenko every 4 games and Bluger. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, they need to add something at the deadline for me to be able to take them seriously, to go toe to toe with Dallas, who is 3 lines deep. The Kings are 3 lines deep. The Golden Knights are 3 lines deep. Nah, I'm not buying the Canucks. I will be definitely picking them one and done. Who are you going to pick if Edmonton and Vancouver play first round? That may happen. Like, the Oilers are going to get in as a wild card squad.
Look, I think they're going to play, and look, they have McDavid and they have Draisaitl, but in the end, like, it's going to be the same problem as they ran into last year, is there isn't scoring other places. And no matter what they do, Stuart Skinner is still their starting goaltender.
Fair. Vancouver at 6. It's already doing it. Vancouver at 6. I love it. I don't believe that the Stars are one and done. Maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid too much there, Mark Casey, but I really dislike this Dallas team. My issue with them right now would be Ottinger. He hasn't looked like the same goalie where he broke out a couple years ago and they beat the Flames in the opening round. Remember how good that he was in that series? Yeah. He's hurt, but even before the injury, he hasn't been that great. But I think that it's a little bit more. I think the path may be easier in the East because of the Leafs and the Bruins. I don't really believe in those two squads. I like the Florida call. 15-1, I think, is a pretty good bet, guys. And they're just a couple points away from being in the top spot in the Atlantic. And I just want to see if we can get a better number as we wrap up this conversation. Florida Panthers, let's see. They're actually 4-1 to win the Atlantic as well. I like that. They're just behind the Bruins. And the Bruins are slowing down a bit. 4-1, I think, is a
They're
really
turning
good
back
bet.
into a regular team
Absolutely.
that doesn't have Bergeron and doesn't have Krejci anymore.
8-1 to win the Eastern Conference. Like that as well. 18-1 over at BetMGM and FanDuel to win the Stanley Cup. That's immediate sprinkle. I think that's a pretty good bet right now. 18-1 to win the Cup, 4-1 to win the Atlantic, 8-1 to win the Eastern Conference. We like them. Did you see I know that you watched Dangle and the boys. Did you see them talking about the Leafs and how they've never won 3 rounds in the playoffs ever? Like they've never won 3 rounds in the Stanley Cup playoff.
I've listened to like every one of their podcasts. I'm probably just behind. I was with holidays and stuff, but
I only saw it because
they
from
picked on my
social media,
Predators, and we're gonna have.
and that's it.
I'm gonna beat up Dangle again in my backyard.
What? What's the deal with Dangle? He didn't learn his lesson before. He shouldn't be chirping your Preds. You're gonna give him a smackdown again. Do we have that?
I warned him. I warned him about that. The whole thing. It sucks.
Yeah. There it is.
He requested it. I didn't even hit him as hard as I can. He's my buddy.
Auto draft. There's another one there.
Those were everywhere, man. It was awesome.
Okay, let's anyways, I thought that was interesting. I couldn't believe it, actually. I know that they haven't won the Cup since 67, but there weren't 3 rounds back then.
That's right.
And they haven't won 3 rounds ever. They've been around for over 100 years.
It's a tortured franchise. There's no doubt about it. You don't got to keep pointing it out, man.
I do. I got to point it a little bit here and there, right?
I've been living the dream.
They've been to the 3rd round a couple times.
My entire life.
93, they went to the 3rd round.
Wayne Gretzky cheated.
I think they played the Flyers in the 3rd round when Roenick scored in overtime. I don't know if it was the 3rd or 2nd. I know they played the Hurricanes, I think, in the 3rd round potentially as well.
Hit Doug Gilmour in the face. He was bleeding. No penalty.
Frazier.
And he scored. Then he scored.
Didn't see.
Then the Montreal Canadiens beat him in the finals.
All right, pick a hat. George didn't see these beauties earlier. Look at these.
Oh, you got to go with the Sharks one.
Got the Ducks.
Yeah,
the Sharks. Here, Hammerhead, you want to buy this one from me? Big Canucks guy? I saw you on that. Saw you that. Tough 49ers loss, eh? Kings. Okay, you want to go with the Sharks? Is it a bad omen? We're so heavy on the Oilers tonight. We'll go with the Sharks. I got the names here. I just again echo what you said earlier. Really appreciate all the support. We wanted to give back to you guys for everything that you've done for us over the past couple of years here. A shout out to George, who's hanging by, man. He's helped us grow the show so much. The overlays, the graphics, dealing with me all the time. We love you, buddy. Bats. And all you guys that have sent the screenshots over, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars, all the nice comments, man, fantastic. We're going to do this again. And we'll also do that Stanley Cup bracket challenge again, too. And we'll have some giveaways as well. I did say the winner will be able to pick their own jersey. EY is going to send that over to you. So get in touch with me, meanstreetsftn@gmail.com. Let us know what jersey you want. If it's Slafkovsky, it's Slafkovsky.
That's right.
It's your choice. And then we'll also draw. So this one here is going to be the winner. And the next 2 will be some betting packages. We'll also give a betting package to the winner as well. So here we go. Drum roll. Give me a drum roll. What do we got? This is the winner. NHL jersey of your choice. All right, it's Robert Battleman. I think I wrote that right. That's you're the winner. Congrats, Robert. Jersey headed your way. Get in touch with us. Let us know what jersey you want. You're obviously going to have to let us know your address, and we'll order that and we'll ship that off to you. So congratulations again. Get in touch with me. Send me your email. I'll hook you up with an FTM betting package. All picks across all sports, projections, tools, NFL models, hot fire. We got an NBA model, college basketball, March Madness be here before you know it. And I'm going to draw a couple others here for some betting packages. Again, just for the support. I wish we can give a jersey to all you guys, but we're not that rich. We don't win that many bets here. Mario, hit me up. Mario, FTM betting package, and one more here for the fellas. What is it? All right, it's Patrick Madigan. Madigan in there. So FTM betting package for you as well. We'll do this in a couple weeks. Again, appreciate the support. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, subscribe for free. FTN Network YouTube page. You watching the replay? You guys have any comments, any questions? Leave them there. And this is chirping. You're chirping me, I think. Make sure you ship to the correct address. I guess I do deserve that. And then it wouldn't be a show without Hammerhead Union telling us that the Eagles suck. So that's kind of what he does. Matt's in the house. You're all the best. Looking forward to 2024. Appreciate you guys as well. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. From EY, myself, Chris Meaney. Hit me up. Again, those winners will get you guys the goods. And
see you in the future, everyone.
Yeah, see you next year. Go Birds.